Every year, millions of people gather to watch the Super Bowl. Whether an avid football fan who has placed bets with friends and followed the games all season, or just a football novice who simply watches the game for the halftime show and commercials, the Super Bowl is one of the most viewed sports events on television each year. Businesses and restaurants alike cash in on the opportunity to increase their revenue during this time. The article "Here Are the Super Bowl Ads and Moments That Best Caught and Kept Viewers' Attention" from Forbes magazine discusses that the popularity of the ads during the Super Bowl, as well as an innovative way to track peak viewing times during the game. A data analytics firm called Distillery recently tracked cell phone usage during the Super Bowl and correlated that information with peak viewing times during the game. The idea behind the research is that when cell phone usage time is down, viewers are watching television instead of their phones.
Whose main goal is to do environmental scanning. In this article, it explains how they took the data from when Super Bowl watchers' phones were most active and directly correlated that to the Super Bowl game and commercials. They concluded that when there was less phone activity, more people were watching the game or commercials and weren't paying attention to their phones as much. More attention was being paid during the big events in the game, like turnovers, touchdowns, and the halftime show. We believe Distillery's analysis creates a need for major consideration about the timing of when its commercials are played. The analytic information from the scan can allow them to determine the optimal time for them to place their advertising. Our group believes we will see an increase in environmental scanning to help companies strategize placement of their ads, resulting in more competition between companies for favored commercial time slots.
Other companies may develop technology to be able to determine peak viewing times during other popular events, such as the World Series, March Madness games, and NFL playoff games, as well as non-sports events, such as the Oscars and the Country Music Awards. It seems already that commercials are geared toward the intended audience in particular time slots and surrounding particular events. For example, commercials for toys, candy, and fast food such as McDonald's seem to air frequently on networks that air children's programming and cartoons. Meanwhile, adult-oriented commercials for things such as department stores, pharmaceuticals, and automobiles appear most often on channels with adult programming. Companies are utilizing the target market in these instances. This may in turn generate competition if peak viewing times can be predicted, and therefore create more competition for time slots during popular events.
Target markets are defined as a particular group of consumers at which a product or service is aimed at, and the Super Bowl is a prime example of how companies show they do this. But even compared to something as big as the Oscars, statistical data shows that a bigger population and more target markets watch the Super Bowl than the Oscars. All in all, the Super Bowl is the biggest event for marketing teams to reach the most amount of people and dip into different target market segments. These companies have the ultimate goal to attract the most amount of people and target markets toward their product without dismissing or offending those target markets.
Businesses should always have a marketing strategy to be able to multiply their opportunities in the business world. This means having a plan of action for identifying and analyzing a target market and developing a marketing mix to meet the needs of that market. There are many opportunities that can be grasped when marketing strategies are used in a way that capture target markets effectively. They have the opportunity, or data analytics firms are a very unique but opportunity-rich timing in marketing. They have the opportunity to gather information for businesses to be able to specifically go after either large audiences or even more smaller specific target markets. Timing, content, and placement is key to opportunities in marketing. For example, during the Super Bowl, the most opportunities are in the first quarter of the game than there are during the other quarters and even the halftime show. These are key timing points that businesses should be aware of to be able to jump on the opportunity to gain a large audience. Content is also key to opportunities because what businesses display will either leave a lasting impact or will turn their audience away from whatever is being marketed. It is also important to be aware of the placement of the content, as different markets will see the material in different areas.